All right, this is one of those, your mileage may vary kind of deals. The backside 50-50. This is really fucking tricky. So, find yourself here. In particular, if we're talking about any variation where like this leg is being controlled, you're basically fucked. But there are kind of two options here. Again, assuming that this is locked in. One is to try to get your shin into that position that we were in before in the weaker braking mechanic configuration of the 50-50 so that we can turn and heel slip. However, for those of you that have seen the BJ Penn Ryan Hall fight, you can see how tricky this is to do. And I very much object to the idea that BJ Penn just didn't know how to defend a heel hook. He turned the wrong way. He turned the only way he could to try to get his leg free. Just so you know, super high risk and not very likely to work, but it's all you can do at that point. The other option that we want, and again, this is going to be very difficult if somebody's got their legs configured properly, is I would like to try to separate that enough that my knee comes through. It's just clearing the line of his thighs or the knee line as it's called. So if he's really triangle tight here and I can't get my knee through and I've waited to do this until that point and he's already given her, I'm just gonna break my own leg. So please don't be trying to escape this, he's applying pressure and then you turn. That's absolutely not how you would do this. You're pretty much gonna have to pick one and go with it. And if it doesn't work, tap. Right? I definitely prefer this. For one, I'm not rotating against myself. If we were in a situation where we kind of ended up here and this wasn't tight yet, he just had heel exposure, his hands are not connected yet, I know I can get here, absolutely, I'll do this. But once the hands are connected, and especially once the hands are connected and he's starting to drive the pressure this way, I think this is kind of the only shot you've got. And how we want to approach this is taking this time as much as the end of the lever as we can get. And what this affords us to do, if I just, let's say, grab midway on the shin here, I don't have good enough base necessarily to start fiddling with this foot. But if I can take my hand and have it kind of in line with my foot and have my foot far enough in front of me that I can lean now in a way that allows me to pull up. And you can see because of the length of Rory's legs and how good his foot is positioned behind his calf, I'm not able to separate. But what I am able to do is pull this up enough that now there's not enough friction, the wedges aren't tight enough, and I can extract my knee. Bunion, base leg out in front. I'm basically tripoding and I'm pulling up, and now I'm using my left leg for base. My right hand is my support. My left foot is driving my weight up, and I'm extracting. From here, he can start to continue the pressure. It's not gonna matter because my knee will rotate and I'll be able to extract myself. So,
such a small window.
It is, I'm making it seem yeah, just do this and you'll get out.
Yeah, when Rob was demonstrating trying to bring that knee out and he fails, to me as the person applying those braking mechanics, the second I feel you try and pull and you failed, I'm already starting to destroy your knee at that point.
Exactly.
So if you are going to be defending backside 50-50 when that heel has already been bit onto, you're making a split second decision. You're like Rob said, you're going one of the two paths, and as soon as you're trying, for me, there's even
let's do this. Do an entry to the backside. Do that rotational one that you do all the time. So this kind of thing, exactly. Okay, see, even now, I've started to push my knee on the first attempt, my knee didn't clear. Yeah, if on the first attempt my knee didn't clear, then I'm tapping or I'm verbal tapping. If on that first attempt my knee popped out, okay, and then I want to make sure that my foot blocks as I move away. Because let's say, for example, I clear and he just pulls me back in. He reaches through, or just reach through with your right. Fuck. Right? So what I want to do is if I clear this, I block. And now he goes to put his hand through and pull me back in. I'm okay. He's not going to get me back in the position. I still can't necessarily leave the position.
I'm still quite happy with the leg configuration because I've got your structure so effective.
But I know he can't put me into a braking position.
Yeah, I can't finish it.
Yeah. And so, but even still, I can't heel slip, and I can't toe slip, so I'm still in kind of jeopardy, and I use the motion there to come back to the seated 50-50. So, like,
You don't really have any good defense options. Like, everything is completely on the side of me continuing attacks,
Totally.
and you have to run.
Totally.
Or like the other ones that we looked at, like 50-50
You can-
outside Ashley, you could eventually turn it. Or even 411 where we have like the Felipe Pena
We
Gordon
can
Ryan
take
back,
the back.
take and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
Man, this one,
so we're not talking as much about prevention here. We're talking about actually escaping the heel hook. But as he's putting me here, then this is all I'd be doing. I'd just be sitting into, let's turn this way. I don't give him the backside 50-50. I sit back to here, I put my foot under, I hide my heel, and I
Yeah, so
start
that's
getting
what
to
we're
work.
saying. Like, if we just go on that tangent for a sec, that's you see guys getting into those K guard into
Yeah.
the backside 50-50 entries. As soon as I'm getting here on Rob, Rob's just turning and going.
right into defending regular 50-50 or
Yeah.
outside side hack, because at least now you have your weapons faced towards me.
Yeah.
And you can start looking at hand fighting, toe, heel slipping.
The goal in any of these like variants is to force the double seated 50-50 because that's the weakest position compared to the backside 50-50 or the outside Senkaku or whatever. So as much as possible, I would recommend not at all trying to fuck around with the heel hook like from backside.
And that's where you
50-50.
gotta be super careful, like you were talking about, to make sure that you know your heel hasn't been bit onto already.
Yeah.
Because you are rotating that in a motion that would be counter-rotating against the pressure I'm applying, and you destroy your knee. So
Yeah.
when you look at BJ Penn doing the turning that way against Ryan Hall, it was the right way to turn. It just unfortunately he's doing it against somebody who's a fucking expert at
way
that
too
position.
good, yeah.
And it was too late because you don't have the option of rotating the other way to try and relieve the pressure because of how I've wedged your knee in place with the ground as well.
Yeah, that's something that, I mean, this probably deserves another video, but like, you can do everything right to defend something. And if the person doing it is just a lot better at that stuff than you are, it's not going to matter. And that fight is probably a really good example of that.